What's up everybody? This is Ziggy. I went to Japan for the first time and I played my last shows for 2024. All of that is... Wow, that just showed how ADHD I am. Is it really this bad? I want a different chair. No sex in these chairs, eh? This is content. Oh geez, Rick. So I've been lucky to play 2 new places for this tour, for the New Love World Tour 2024. I got to play in Mexico, and the other place I got to play for the first time is Japan. Japan's pretty cool because I haven't even been to Japan. Prior to these shows, I didn't have any expectation going into what it would be like. Obviously everyone in Australia has really good reports about Japan. We get in, and the first thing we do is we go to Chiba, the Chiba prefect, I think that's what they call, like province or state over there. And went to Chiba and we spent 2 or 3 days like just surfing and playing a coffee shop, and that was hilarious because that was a lot like surf culture, no matter where you are, can be quite similar, and that was like a very easy transition. And then we drove to Tokyo. That was hard. Got stuck in the tunnels, we lost our Google Maps. That was, ended up being like a 4-hour drive or something, and then my dear tour manager had to take the car like an hour back near the airport. We caught the bullet trains around. It was a very different tour because we went on a tour bus. We didn't do a lot of driving really for the shows. We caught bullet trains from different cities back and forth. Hanging with Donovan was really cool. He had like his band with him and everyone was real lovely. So it's a real credit to them. It's by invitation in Japan as a musician, like you really need to be invited to come play. And Donovan invited me to come play, and that was really, he didn't have to, and so that's really sweet. So thanks, Donnie. I'm surprised there's so many bakeries. Japanese really into their baking. They make really good bakery stuff. That was cool. The city at night particularly was like, couldn't sleep after. It's just so much going on. You travel a bunch of cities now and so many of them are the same. And I would say that Japan is not the same. And this would be obvious to everyone, but the way I thought about it is how many places do you go that speak Japanese? And there's like really one. It's Japan. And when you're traveling through Portugal, you know, that language is shared with Brazilian and shared with, I guess, some parts also of Africa. And then you have Spanish, and that's shared all over the world beyond country and continent. And so, yeah, it's a very unique place. I'd like to see more of the wilderness. I'd like to see more of the mountain. Of course, I'd love to see the snow. But mainly this was like the first time, personally or professionally, to go there. And it was a trip out. I haven't done a support run since I think supporting Jack, so that's always cool because I never play support runs, so that's a very different energy. Yeah, it was really cool to learn along the way. I didn't know that Japan and its history was locked off for like 400 years, like no one would come or go, and that's like a crazy thing culturally for any country or continent, nation, to be isolated for 400 years. And I think that speaks a lot to why Japan is the way it is. I also enjoyed learning about Shinto because the foundation, you can't call it religious because it's not a theistic idea, but Shinto and Buddhism are the fundamental parts of, I guess, the spiritual element of Japan. From what I can tell in history, and that's really interesting because Shinto, I think, explains a lot why like anime is a big thing. You know, apparently there's the little character for the god of hair, basically, or the god of fertility and rice, and mischievous characters, and then also there is, I guess, if the word's inanimate objects, so like a rock can be a shrine, or a beautiful tree can hold some really special importance and worship, and that's really cool. And I didn't realize till the last day, but it was actually my last show for the year. Just been so in the moment and so focused on what I have ahead of me, I didn't really think about it being the last show. But I tell you what, when I got home to Australia, I hit such a wall, and I wasn't even prepared for it consciously or subconsciously. I guess just the body knows when you finish your big stint of tour, and that's different to finishing a chapter or finishing the US or finishing this, but when you can rest, and I can like technically rest from tour until February when we go back out and tour in regional Australia. That's the biggest break from tour I've had in, that could be the longest break in tour in like maybe 2 years, something like that. So I was shocked about how flat I've felt since, because I still have this vision of, already we've got the next tour booked in the next year, we're booking shows, but that didn't change physically, how somewhere my body was like, okay, you don't have to be on stage now for like 4 months, we're gonna collapse, and end up in hospital for a day. That was a different story though. That was fun, dramatic, very Cancerian. But yeah, I feel it's been a whirlwind of a year. I have to live in the here and now. I have some projects I cannot speak about in this little episode that I'm about to undertake. I can tell you that I'm going to be hanging in Oz, and I'm going to be touring Australia is what's up next. You guys have had a really big, beautiful response to touring Australia regionally again, and to having local support. So I guess the rest from me is I'm just going to try and find my flow at home, be back in the ocean a lot, train hard, still trying to get ripped, haven't gotten ripped yet. Let's find out, maybe this is the summer I'm finally getting ripped, and then this vlog will all just be about gains. So if you've hung around long enough to see all of that, thank you very much. If you want to support us doing more long form stuff, you can like, comment and subscribe, because that is the metric. But if you don't feel like doing that, thanks. I still really appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your year. Keep dreaming, stay healthy, and see you for another little video around the bend.